When it comes to DSE biology, a lot of students in general find it relatively easy to study in terms of the concept, which is pretty true because a lot of principles and ideas and theories in biology, it's quite straightforward if you compare to chemistry and physics. But the tricky part for biology, I would say, over the years of teaching of experience, two parts. The first part, where a lot of students always complain about, is failing to write the answers with the specific keywords. We've been marking a lot of years of papers submitted from our students, and what we found is that sometimes, as a marker, what we see from our students writing a long paragraph of answers in the paper, we can tell that the student have a general good understanding on the topic and on the concept. But if they fail to write those specific terms that is required by the marking scheme, then it's easy to see students losing a lot of marks, even they've written a lot in the paper. Take, for example, like a simple question. Why does enzyme doesn't work in 500 degrees Celsius, for example? Let's say a human enzyme, amylase. So a lot of students, what they would do, it's high temperature, sensitive, denature, and that's why it's not working. So if you look at this answer, a lot of students will only receive 1 mark because they failed to mention that enzyme, it's a protein. That's why it's sensitive to temperature. And at high temperature, it denatures, and as a matter of fact, the active site is being destroyed and cannot bind to the substrate to form enzyme-substrate complex. And only by that, the enzyme is not functioning and cannot catalyze the chemical reaction. So that's why if you're a student, when you think back of these answers, it's sort of easy to recall and to understand and to know what it means. But are you able to write them out in the examination questions? That is the key. So that's why this is the first part a lot of students find it challenging to answer the question with specific terms. Secondly is the wide range of application. Well, compared to chemistry and physics, bio has small, what I would say. So for example, if you learn like the elective part, the biotechnology, okay, so you learn about like genetic engineering, some techniques, some methods, some approaches. And you would expect to see in the papers in the examination, they will use different cases that you seldom seen from your textbook. For example, if you look at other international examination papers, they might use anti-frozen tomatoes as a case study for genetic engineering, or adding additional nutritional values to corns by doing recombinant plasmid technology. So that's why what you've seen in the textbook is not exactly what you will see on the papers, because they will use a lot of applications. For example, you learn about the gas exchange respiratory system in human. And in the exam, they won't just say, describe the functions of alveoli. Never, I would say, really rare occasion, because these are too straightforward. You would expect to see questions, for example, like they're asking you about SARS, okay, severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is outbreak in Hong Kong in 2003. And then they will use these cases to indirectly assess your understanding on the gas exchange system in human beings. So that's why, as a summary, be able to answer those keywords and be able to apply what you learn in different cases that you won't expect to see in your textbook and in your real examination paper. So that is our suggestion for how to prepare for your upcoming DSE biology. Good luck and schedule a trial. We'd definitely love to share with you more about how to prepare and excel in your DSE bio.